and see you all. We're live. Brilliant. I'll wait for a few people to join. Welcome to my unusual Sunday morning Facebook Live. I'm usually live on a Sunday night, so this is all a bit strange for me. But each month I make a set of cards and I always demonstrate them live for people that have bought kits. So this is just that. This is my In Bloom mini class. So if you're watching at home and you've bought a kit, I do hope you like it. You've all received an email with your instructions on, and you should all have your little packets. Some people choose to watch now, some people choose to watch first and then make later. It's entirely up to you how you do it. You might even choose to do it on a different day, in which case that's completely fine as well. So a few people are now on. Good morning, Amy from New Zealand. Hope the weather's nice where you are. We finally got some sunshine here and it's been really, really nice. I've got a little bit of sunburn on my nose from yesterday, but it's just nice to have the sunshine here and to know that you can go out for the day without packing for winter, spring, summer, rain, everything. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Morning, Stacey. Love the hair. Yes, finally had my hair cut. I feel a lot more like myself now. Was starting to feel not like me, so didn't want that. Right, so we'll make a start. I'll change my camera around so you can see my desk. I'll also do at the end of this video a little sneaky peek of Jean's class, which is using the pansies, and I've really enjoyed making those cards. So let's get started. Right, so this is my little desk. Fresh piece of grid paper this morning. I thought I would treat you all. I'm just going to put an extra light on. It feels a bit dark in here today. That's a bit better. Okay, so this is the stamp set that we've used. We've also used the dies that go with this suite, which is the Pierced Blooms dies. Which are truly magnificent. They're in the annual catalogue they're in the mini catalogue as a bundle, or they're in the annual catalogue to buy separately. Okay, so gorgeous cards. I've also focused my card designs around the in colours. So the new 2021 to 2023 in colours, and these are the 5 card designs that I have made for the mini part of this class. Just focusing on using the in colour cardstock and the in colour designer series papers as well. I've added in a little bit of black and white because, as you know, if you follow me regularly, that is my signature kind of style. I love a bit of monochrome. Let's see what we can make first. So you should all have your little packets. So this was a monster class to die cut. I had a little helper in the form of my husband. Thank goodness for Marvel that we were watching on the TV, but everything will be in your little packets that you need, all pre-cut, pre-scored, just because I thought that would be easier this month than giving you a whole packet of just die-cut pieces to sift through. So I tried to make it as straightforward as possible. Also for me, putting the class together, it was a lot easier because I could see really visually what was in those packets was everything we would need. So we'll start at the top. We'll start at card number 1. And this is using the soft succulent cardstock. Now, I don't know about you, but I still haven't decided which colour is my favourite. Always takes me a little while, and it changes depending on what I'm doing. But I am a fan of this one. I do like this colour. So in your little packet, you will have a soft succulent card base, like so. You will have 2 pieces of basic white card. One will be for your outside and one will be for your inside, so we'll pop that to one side. And then you have a piece of soft succulent cardstock that I have embossed. I think that's with the subtle embossing folder, and that is just a little layer for the front. Actually, these pieces are slightly bigger than that one, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and then you have your piece for the front, and then you have your selection of die cuts. So it's really simple to put these cards together. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of Tombow for mine, a little bit of wet glue. Like so, and then pop this on. I actually prefer it with the thicker border when I made these cards, I was running really, really low on basic white card. It's been on back order here in the UK. So those really simple flat pieces, and then we have our little designer series paper, and I've cut this out using the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and I'm going to add this to my card with some dimensionals. These dies are really handy, and we've got some new sort of style of these dies now which work well together, and with the stitched rectangles they go with the colour and contour bundle. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that down like so, roughly in the middle, and then our flowers, I'm going to stick this together so it has a little bit of time to dry. I'm going to add a little bit of wet glue to that centre and stick my middle on. The middle is the basic black, so bringing in that little bit of monochrome. In your kits you will have a little bit of spare basic white card. I think everyone's got one sheet of basic white in the mini class. I'm just going to grab a spare piece. Because the only thing you haven't got is your white piece for your stamping, but you can make that from your piece of basic white. So I'm going to use the Happy Birthday stamp set. Watching me on TV, larger than life. What a great way to live your Sunday morning, Sue. Bless you. Okay. Add that to my block, and I'm going to stamp in Memento, but you could stamp in the soft succulent if you wanted to. Just add that like so. And then you can trim that down into a little banner. And I've just done this by eye, there's no real measurement. A lot of people like to add, that do my classes, like to add their own kind of die cuts. And I know a lot of people have got shapes for these, so that's why I didn't necessarily include that piece there. But like I said, you've got plenty of white in your in your kits to do this with. And then I'm just going to banner the end like so, and then that is my piece for on my card. Okay, so quite straightforward, but like I said, a lot of people like to add different dies and things, and not everyone has got that stamp set, so your sentiment might be a different shape to mine. Now these, they're actually stuck down flat to the card, because what I thought about these cards is actually there's a lot of layers going on, but because I've kept it quite flat, they're perfect for popping in the post. And obviously we make cards because we want to give them to people, don't we? So I'm going to stick these down flat. Going to get stuck there. Now the leaves, I've got 2 leaves, and they're just going to tuck under each side of the flower. So I'm going to put my glue just on those bottom 2 leaves. Oh, my flower's moved, and just slide them in. Okay, just pop my little flower back like so, and then do the same with this leaf. So I'm tucking them under the flower. Okay, so that is the first card front. For the centre of this one, you just need to pop your piece of basic white in the centre like so. And there we have card number 1 finished. Okay, so I've given you 2 options. You can either cut it down and have the skinny border around the embossing folder, or you can stick with the piece I've given you, and it can be a thicker border. I actually really like the thicker border more than this one, but it's your card and it's your choice to make it however you wish. So that's card number 1 done. Card number 2 has been using the Fresh Freesia. And I was a huge fan of Purple Posy of the last 2 years, so I was really glad that Stampin' Up! Still gave us a nice purple to work with, and this is a really nice colour. Okay, let's just take out all the pieces. come out. So lots of die cutting in this class, as you can see. So in here you have your Fresh Freesia card base, okay. You have a what do you call it? A frame. Now this frame has been cut with the large die from the Nature's Thoughts dies. I didn't necessarily want the stitching around the edge, which you get with the stitched rectangles. And then I need to cut my piece of designer series paper, which is here. So because everyone got a set of the designer series paper, you got a certain number of sheets. I obviously didn't cut all of those for people. Okay, so I need to cut that down, and the measurement I'm going to go with is, let's go with 9 centimetres by 13 centimetres. Okay, I'm going to bring my trimmer back in, and I want my lines vertical, sorry. So I'm going to cut the 9 first, and then cut the 13. So you get 2 little pieces, and then that will go under our piece. You don't want to cut it the same size as the rectangle because you don't really want to see it when you're looking in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our card base and we're going to stick this piece of designer series paper straight down onto the card. We're sticking that down flat. Try and get it in the centre if you can. Like so, and then we can go ahead and put our frame on. Okay. Now the frame is actually stuck down with dimensionals, and what's really good for sticking these frames down are these edge pieces, because they're not too thick, and you can obviously spread them out a little bit. That one on there, and that one on there. Okay, if you wanted to, and I do like to do this, I do like to add a dimensional in the corner. Lots of little half sheets or almost finished sheets of dimensionals. So it's quite a lot of dimensionals, but you want your frame to kind of stay raised. And obviously if you didn't put your dimensionals in the corner, it would kind of sag down a little bit. So it feels a bit like pad overload, but actually it works really nicely. And this is just ever so slightly smaller than your card front, so you will have a nice little border around the edge like so. Okay, and then you've got your pieces to add, so let's just stick our centres in. So we've got a big centre for this spiky flower, okay, and then for this one we've got the mini dot here, and then this one I've left plain. Okay, so this is our banner that we're going to stamp our sentiment on. I've gone with "You Are Amazing," which is in here. Hi Elizabeth from cold Australia. Oh, I'm so sorry. We've got lovely warm weather at the moment. We definitely are complete opposites, aren't we? Stamping that in black to keep that monochrome going throughout it. Try and get it in the middle if you can. Obviously you might use a different sentiment to me. You might want to use a different label. This label actually comes from the stamp set, sorry, the die set. This label here. So it's part of the bundle. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little dimensional under here. Peel that off, and then that's going to get stuck just about there. Okay, and then we can stick our flowers down. So I'm just going to cut this a little bit. Never waste your dimensionals. I always use mine right up to the last piece. Oops, that's moved slightly. one down about there, and then the other two are going to get just layered around. So the mini dimensionals actually work really well for these flowers as well. Just tucking them round, and then we'll pop this one over here. Now if your label lifts ever so slightly, just pop a little bit of wet glue underneath so that it stays where you want it. Okay, so that is our lovely card front, and then inside we have this piece to stick down. Oops. My next door neighbour's cutting their grass this morning. There's always something going on here. Okay, and there we have card number 2, which is our Fresh Freesia design. Do let me know what you think. I'll pop that up there. I'll have a little clear down. Now card number 3, and I think for me this is my Marmite colour, and I've heard a lot of people say the same. Evening Evergreen, you either absolutely love it or you're not so sure, and I think this colour is actually going to come into play at Christmas time. I think we're going to see a lot of this at Christmas. Well, that's my prediction anyway. So let's take out all our pieces. And these designs would work with kind of any occasion, any designer series papers, any embellishments. I really do like the style of these cards. So we need to cut our piece of designer series paper, and that needs to measure 10 centimetres by 14.4, so it's just half a centimetre smaller than our card front. Let's just grab that piece of DSP. I've gone with the sort of lattice design. I actually really like the way Stampin' Up have gone with completely different patterns this year. We usually have lots of dots. But yeah, it's nice to have different patterns. So we've got 10 centimetres by 14.4. Pie from Shropshire. It's wet here. Oh no! We had a real soggy day on Friday. And yesterday was absolutely glorious. Hopefully it's just one day, Ali, and it will pass. Okay, so we're going to stick our piece of DSP down. And again, I've tried to keep these cards quite flat so that you can mail them really easily. Okay. I like it. I'm not overly keen on pale papaya at the moment. Okay. And then we have this little strip of Evening Evergreen, which if I put those up against each other, we can measure where that's going to go. Lovely. Pop that on nice and straight, and that will go from edge to edge of your card. Now with your piece of basic white, that is just a little bit smaller. I think it's half a centimetre smaller. No, it's 1 centimetre, or it might be half a centimetre, but it goes edge to edge. You've just got that little border of cardstock showing, and we're going to stamp our happy birthday sentiment. I adore pale papaya. I love the way that the ink colours just divide people. Okay, and we're going to pop that down dead centre if we can. I think mine's just ever so slightly off, but it doesn't matter too much. And then that can get stuck down on that little banner. Like so. Okay, and then our little flower, we're going to pop together. I'm going to put it on with a dimensional, just so we've got a little bit of depth on those cards. Not too much, but just enough. Like so. We can stick down our centre, which is cut from basic black. I really love the black and white feel to these cards. And then our flowers, our leaves even, we're going to put one up there and one down below. Now with these leaves, I'm going to trim off the tail bit, just so that we can get that just ever so slightly further down. On this one, I think actually what I've done, oh, I've cut off. Okay, so on one of them, we're going to cut off the top 3 leaves entirely and stick that on. This year's colours are my favourite so far. I think they work so well as a palette. They really do. I must admit, I'm really taken with them as well. Okay. And there we go. So we've got our leaves like so. And what I like as well is that they're kind of free, so it just adds a little bit of texture to your card. Okay. And then this piece is going to get stuck in the centre. So I've kept the centres quite plain, but I do love the detail on the outside. So there is card number 3 done. We are cooking with gas, guys. On to card number 4. And this is our Pal Papaya one. So Joanna, you might want to look away for 2 minutes for this card. It would work in any other colour though. I didn't like them online. They're much better seeing them in person. They are, aren't they, Amy? I think you're completely right. They are much better when you see them in person. So for this, we've gone with the Pal Papaya colour. And this one, we need to cut our piece of Pal Papaya. And that's exactly the same measurement as our last card, which was 10 by 14.4. Oh, the colours, not your cards. They are cute. That's fine. I got what you mean completely, Amy. So 10 centimetres by 14.4. Thank you, Janice. That's really nice. Janice has just put my cards are beautiful. I think the colours are just lovely to work with, and the dies are just brilliant as well. I love the dies. Okay, so let's do some sticking. So here we have our designer series paper to stick down. Like so. And then I have, these are the layering circles. So the scallop, in the layering circle dies, you get a set of scallop dies and a set of plain circles, and they layer together really nicely. And they come in a variety of different sizes as well, so it depends how much of a border you'd like showing. But I've kept just a small little border there, and that's going to get stuck straight down, but with some pads. Let's see, do I need a new sheet? Oh no, I've got half a sheet here. So let's stick that down like so. And it's kind of in the top portion of the card, not necessarily in the centre, but just slightly towards the top. Your flowers that you should have a selection of large flowers and a selection of small flowers. You should have 2 of each, because for this card I've stuck a flower inside. So you should have 2 little flowers with middles and 2 bigger flowers with middles. Now for my sentiment, I've done exactly the same as I did on that first card, but I'm going to stamp on the Pale Papaya cardstock, which I'm just going to grab a piece of. And you've all got Pale Papaya, you've all got a sheet of each card in your kit as well. So I'm going to take my sentiment. I've just grabbed a piece of scrap out of my stash. And what I like about this sentiment, what I'm doing, the bottom of that sentiment is a straight line. So I'm lining up that straight line with the edge of my card that I'm stamping on. Like so. So you actually managed to get it quite straight. Or I did just then. So then let's just trim that down. I'm trimming that down so it's roughly 2 centimetres. Make sure that's straight, like so. Okay. And then I have just created a little banner either end with my snips, and then that is going to get stuck down like so. And I think that's a nice card just like that actually. Add a little bit of your glue. Like so. And then the flowers I'm just going to add around the edge. And I'm sticking it down to the card rather than the die, because like I said earlier, I don't really want too much depth going on to these cards, because otherwise they just become tricky to post. Stick that one down and then add the centres. Like so. They look almost like daisies, don't they, these ones? Thank you, Linz. Beautiful cards. Like so. And then inside we've got our piece of white. Stick down, and then our little flower to finish. Like so. Okay, so there we have finished card number 4 in the Pale Papaya. They look almost like daisies. I really like those two. And then the last one, wow, where's the time going? We have card number 5, which is Polished Pink. And I think I'm going to be really bold and say I think this is my least favourite colour, because I love Magenta Madness so much from last year. I don't think my heart can love another purple in this, another pink in the same way. How funny. Right, so we have more of those scallop dies, those circle dies. We have 2 little flowers. And I've gone with, rather than the plain circle middles, I've gone with some little flower middles. So the options with these dies really are endless. You can just go a bit mad. Okay, so this piece here, we're going to stick that down with some foam pads. I love this colour. See, isn't it just brilliant? I just love how everyone's got something different that they like. First time I've loved them all. So for me, I absolutely loved, and I can't, this is how much I love them because I can't remember them, the set of in colours that had lemon lime twist. I was mad hooked on that lemon lime twist colour for a whole year. Okay. Or 2 years even. So here we have our Polished Pink Designer Series paper. Let's just check that measurement because I didn't write it down. We have a piece that measures 6 centimetres by 13.4. Okay. So I always like to cut my smaller measurement first. 6 by 13.4. And then this piece you're going to stick down to here, but just leave a little border of that pink showing that side. And mine is probably about 1/2 centimetre, maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, I miss Seaside Spray. Yes, Sue, I can imagine actually. We all love a bit of Seaside Spray. With a dimensional, so there's a little bit more depth on this card. Okay, so just pop that on, and it hangs just ever so slightly over the edge of that card. Now onto this sentiment, onto this circle, we're going to stamp "You are amazing." Joanna Barnes, I miss Pretty Peacock. Yep, love that one. I loved Pretty Peacock at Christmas with gold. You are amazing. And I've stamped that just in the top sort of section of that circle. Stick that down so you've got your scallop showing. And then we can stick our lovely flowers on. That's it, and then the centres. The trick with these centres is less is more with the glue, because you don't want the glue to kind of come up through those holes, the stitching sort of holes in the dies. Okay, like so. And then a piece for the centre. I enjoy the fun of using the new colours. I do as well. Yeah, it is lovely. Okay, so there we have finished card number 4. The lid is back on the glue. Sorry, card number 5. So let's just bring those back in. So we've got 5, we've got 4, we've got 3, we've got 2, and we've got 1. So I do really hope you enjoyed seeing those cards get put together. I'd love to see your designs as well for those of you that have got kits. On a Sunday, as always, I give away my cards that I have made. So I will give away one of each of these cards to the guys, everyone who's watched today. You just need to comment with the phrase "yes please," and I'll pop you all into a draw, and then the 5 cards will be sent out to the winner Monday, Tuesday this week. Okay, so as promised as well, I did say I would show you all a little sneaky peek of my June card class. So what have I done with them? They're over here. So the June card class has been put together with the Pansy Suite in the new catalogue, which I'm just going to grab here. So the Pansy Suite also shows, oh look, just as if by magic, is also using the new in colours, but with a lot of floral patterns, and the papers are just to die for. I love the colours, I love everything about it. The sentiments in the stamp set are beautiful, and it just comes together really nicely. Oh, I'm sorry, Amy, I'm so sorry. I'd love it if you could join as well. So these are a little sneaky peek, and I've gone with larger sort of styles of cards. So we have 1, and there are 5 in the set, and I'm not going to show you them all, how they all work, because actually I want something to be a little surprise. We have 2, we have 3, this one is my favourite, we have 4, and we have 5. So those are the 5 cards. This is the standard sort of card that I would make, which is a C6 card here in the UK. These are almost 6 inches square, not quite because I'm using the A4 cardstock, but they're mainly focused around the papers. I've used the sentiments, and I'm also going to give you a few examples of how to put the dies together as well, because we have a lot of questions actually that say, how do the dies work? I'm not quite sure, so I'll show you a little bit more about that. The green one is meant to have some ribbon on it, but Stampin' Up! Was sadly sent me the wrong one. So those are my next cards for June. Booking closes tomorrow. I shared before this video the link of how to book that. So if you've got any questions, do let me know. This week I will be live on Wednesday evening and Sunday evening. There won't be a live tomorrow because I am spending the whole day prepping for a team event next weekend that I'm really excited about. And that's it from me, guys. I'm going to go and enjoy my Sunday now with my lovely little family. I'm hoping that the husband has done some breakfast and enjoy the sunshine. So I hope you all have a fabulous day. I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. If you have any questions about any of the cards, projects, classes, or you just want to say hi, do get in touch. I always love speaking to you all. So that's it from me, guys. See you all soon. Take care. Bye for now.